Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca from DevourDinner.com. Welcome to my kitchen and happy Sunday everybody. I'm sure excited to be here. I hope you are too. I've got two fun recipes today. One, I will be using the Instant Pot, or you can use any brand of electric pressure cooker, and I will also be using an air fryer, which of course you can use an air fryer that's on top of your Instant Pot if you wish, or a traditional basket style air fryer as well. But we're gonna have two great recipes. So welcome. I am live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So wherever you're watching me, I'm happy you're here. I'm Rebecca, and we're gonna get started on these recipes. So when you hop on, please chime in, say hello. Before we get too much further into this, we want to make sure our technology is all running smoothly. That means that we have good audio. So can you hear me? Give me some thumbs up and hearts. Let me know that you can hear me before we get going. I am not seeing any comments yet. We are going to drop in the comment section a link. We will be making Instant Pot tomato basil soup. Oh, it's so good. It is such a rich, delicious soup, and it is so easy. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, we've got comments. I can hear you. Yay. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jackie from California. Hello, Trelva. Hi, Michelle. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, good. Now that I know we've got our audio, I want to welcome those from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginners group. Amy is the admin over there. We have lots of the moderators on as well, and they are wonderful to support me week after week. So if you're hopping on over from the Instant Pot 101 for Beginners, I'm Rebecca, and I'm teaching you Instant Pot today. So I hope you'll grab your ingredients and you'll jump right in and you'll make this at home because it's delicious. Now, I have my Instant Pot turned on right now to the saute button. We're going to wait a few minutes until this front panel reads hot. That's when we'll know that the bottom area is hot, and we're going to saute up some diced onions and some celery for this recipe. And nope, not quite there yet. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Jolene. Hi, Doreen. Doreen says, all systems are go. I know one of you asked if I was feeling better. I've had a rough go, and I'll talk about that after we get things going, because I know you're all interested. So we'll talk about that. There's Amy. I knew Amy would be here shortly. Amy is actually celebrating a granddaughter's birthday today, so a big shout out to Amy's granddaughter. We hope you're having a fabulous birthday and that you're enjoying having your grandma there with you to celebrate, because that is surely a lot of fun. So fun. All right. As soon as this reads hot, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of butter. You can also use olive oil if you wish. Now, this is a step with the Instant Pot that I like to do. I like to saute up my vegetables to get them soft, to get them caramelizing, to let them sweat a little bit. However, a lot of people just want to dump and get going, and they don't want to wait to do any of this sauteing. And that's okay too. If you just want to bypass this step, you can do that. But I'm just going to throw in a little bit of butter. Ooh, there's some long pieces. Pull those out. So we're just going to, let's go top down. Here we go. We're just going to saute the vegetables up a little bit. I've done 3 stalks of celery that I've diced, and then I have done a small onion. It's about 2/3 of a cup, 3/4 of a cup. It's really whatever you'd like. I'm not usually very picky when I'm adding in vegetables like this, especially because in this recipe I'm going to be blending it all smooth in the end, and I love the flavor that it adds. I'm actually going to be adding in a little bit of garlic as well, and we'll add in some salt and pepper with that too. So we're just gonna let that kind of sit, do its little magic thing going on over there. We got lots of wishes for Amy's granddaughter, which is super fun. Super, super fun. Is everybody excited for Super Bowl next week? Are we excited? Do we have a team that we're cheering for? I love the Super Bowl. I love the food with the Super Bowl. I used to love the commercials. Commercials are still a thing, but not as big of a thing, I feel like. This year is going to be pretty quiet with all my family who's moved away. We used to do big, big Super Bowl parties. Not so much anymore. Do you guys do big parties? Do you do small parties? What do you do? Tell me in the comments. Hi, Linda. How are you? Hi, Catherine. Lots of fun going on here today. All right. We've got these vegetables sauteed up. You can tell the onions are starting to soften, their coloring is starting to change, and that's really what I look for. You can saute these up for a few more minutes if you like. You know you've gone as far as you want to go when you start seeing that caramelization that's sticking to the bottom of your Instant Pot. And of course, we want to make sure that we deglaze the bottom of the pot. That's super important because we don't want to burn notice with our food, with our soup that we're making. So I'm going to throw in the garlic. Now, garlic will burn pretty quickly. So you want to get a good toss, a good stir. We're going to add in some pepper. And I'm going to add in a little bit of salt. It's just about where I want it. I don't know if you can see on those onions. The onions are the easiest ones to tell. The celery has changed color. It's lightened a little bit, not as quite a vibrant green. But the onions themselves are starting to turn a little opaque, starting to get that translucent that we want. It smells wonderful. Super fun. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off. And we're going to deglaze the bottom of the pot. Now to do that, you want to use some thin liquid. So if you're making this recipe in the Instant Pot, which of course I am, but you can make it on the stove. If you're making it on the stove, you don't need to deglaze the bottom of your pot or anything like that. But we're going to add a little bit of water. Now, you can see over here that caramelization. That's what we want to lift up. So I'm going to add a little bit of water and I'm going to scrape. And I know the camera above just went all fogged up. I know how that works. But we're going to move these vegetables around and we're going to make sure that we get everything lifted up. There's a little stubborn piece right there. But the thin liquid helps to lift up anything that is stuck there on the bottom. And that's as simple as it is to deglaze the bottom of your pressure cooker. Helps you avoid that burn notice. All right, I think we are good. Now for the rest of this recipe, we're going to use some stewed tomatoes. These are Italian stewed tomatoes, and I'm just going to dump those right in. I'm going to use 4 cans. So this does make quite a bit. You can, of course, half this recipe to make a smaller batch. Then we're going to add some pesto. Now on my recipe, I've listed you can make a homemade pesto if you want, or you can use just a jar of pesto. We're going to add that in as well. And then we're going to add in some sugar. Now, you know, If tomatoes are super acidic and they kind of have a bitter bite to them sometimes, in order to adjust the acidity, you add some sugar. So you can add upwards of 2 tablespoons of sugar to adjust the acid in your tomatoes. You don't have to add it now. You can add it at the end where you have a chance to kind of taste how the soup is all melded together if you prefer. I like to add a little bit now, and I like to save it for the rest for later. I am going to tuck down the sugar a little bit. I'm not going to stir this so much because I want those thin liquids. I'm going to add the rest of that water too that I didn't add before. Remember, we need that thin liquid so that it will pressure up as it heats up. All right, so we're going to set this for 5 minutes. To do that, you're going to hit your pressure cook button or your timer button. This is an older pressure cooker, and I'm using my up and down keys to get to 5 minutes. Once the pressure cooker has accepted those readings, we're going to hear some beeping. It's going to happen right there. There it is. The beeping tells us that it has accepted the reading and it's going to start doing its magic. Obviously, its magic is heating that bottom element. As that bottom element gets hot, everything inside is going to be brought up to a boil. Now, there's a lot in there, so it's going to take a few minutes to bring this up to a boil. But once it does, the boiling is going to create steam, and the steam will create pressure, and the pressure is going to seal off the pressure valve in our pressure cooker. At that point, we're going to see this front reading change, and it's going to read 5 minutes. And that's how we know that everything is going, and now it's under pressure and it's cooking for 5 minutes. The 5 minutes will count down in time. So it'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When it hits 0, it will beep at you, letting you know that the pressure cooking process is all done. That's how simple it is to make this soup. Now, this is a copycat from Cafe Zupas. If you're familiar with Cafe Zupas, it's kind of in the West. It's a wonderful little fast casual restaurant, and they make the most delicious tomato basil soup. It is so, so good. And a fun fact, if you go there, you can get tomato basil soup and you can have noodles added to it to give it a little more oomph, which is really kind of fun. So along with that, with this recipe, if you want to add some egg noodles, you can add egg noodles at the end, put the top back on and let it sit. Those egg noodles will cook up in the hot soup, and you'll have noodles with your tomato soup to give it just a little bit more texture, a little bit more oomph to fill you up. It's fantastic. Of course, you don't have to do that. Anyway, we're going to let this do its thing. We're going to push it off to the side because we want to make some grilled cheese sandwiches, right? What's better with tomato basil than grilled cheese? All right, I'm hearing, yes, it's a duo. Yep, it is. Okay, the cans of tomato are 14.5 ounces. They are, let me get one, I'll show you. So this is the can. It is an Italian stewed recipe with basil and oregano. It's the 14.5 ounce. I did use 4 of those cans. And then I used the jar of basil pesto that we added to it as well. I know the combination sounds really crazy and bizarre, but in the end, this is going to be a beautiful, like red roasted flavor of tomato soup that is absolutely delicious. Just delicious. All right, we're gonna push this off. We're gonna clean this up just a little bit because I made a little bit of a mess. And I wanna keep some of this out actually. So we're just gonna push some of this stuff off to the side. All right. Now, to our tomato soup at the end, once we open up the pressure, we are gonna add some heavy cream. I love the heavy cream in this soup. It thickens it up. It gives it a little bit, I love the texture that it adds to it. However, if you wanna keep this recipe dairy-free, omit the heavy cream. You're just fine. You don't have to add it, but it's wonderful. You could also add half and half to reduce the calories if that's what you prefer as well. You could also use evaporated milk. So there's a few options that you could do there. We'll talk more about that when we get done. Okay, let's make a sandwich. So in the comments, we're gonna drop the link. This is gonna sound crazy, so everybody, I need you to listen. Otherwise, you're gonna ask me this question 100 times. We're gonna drop the link for air fryer grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I know, I just caught all your attention at home because I said peanut butter and jelly. I get it. We're using that recipe for the temperature and the time. I'm trusting that you at home know how you like a grilled cheese. Okay? That you've already figured out how to do a grilled cheese. But the information that you need is the temperature and the time to get it all toasted perfectly, right? And that's why we're dropping that link into the comments. Because it has the temperature and time that we need. Now, if you are using like a crisp lid to air fry, as always, the crisp lid has your ingredients set up a lot closer to that fan, so it can cook a lot quicker than if you're doing basket style. I still use the same recipe. Sometimes some breads will cook faster. I noticed that like a white bread that's light and airy tends to toast up super fast, where the sourdough sometimes takes a smidget longer. So keep that in mind. Now I have buttered my bread already because I wanted a nice, good, buttered piece of bread. And because it is so big, we're gonna use a couple of cheeses here. So I'm using 2 pieces, and I'm using Tillamook cheese because, well, it's delicious. We're gonna do half of this sandwich as a Colby Jack and half of this sandwich as a Swiss because I love both. We're gonna put this on top. Now, in our basket, you can preheat your air fryer basket if you want. I'm not gonna preheat today, but I am going to put one of the air fryer liners in it. You could also spray the bottom if you wish. And then we're gonna put the sandwich in there. Now we're gonna cook this at 375 for your crisp lid. Your basket air fryers, you don't have the 5 increments on your heating temperature. So I'm just gonna do it at 370. And then I'm gonna do it for 3 minutes per side. Now, you might need 4, but I like to undercook it because I don't want a burnt sandwich. So in my Kasori air fryer, that's a basket, I'm doing it for 370 degrees for 3 minutes per side. If you're using a crisp lid on an Instant Pot or an electric pressure cooker, do 375 for 3 minutes per side. As always, watch, because every air fryer, every crisp lid is just a little uniquely different. You might have it up closer, you might have it farther away, and you don't want to burn your grilled cheese, right? All right, we're gonna drop in the comments as well my oven baked grilled cheese recipe. If you've been watching me forever and ever, you know how much I love to make oven baked grilled cheese sandwiches. And of course, if I'm feeding a crowd, I want grilled cheese coming out all at once, right? If I'm cooking and my air fryer and I'm just making one sandwich at a time, even if it is big, that's not enough to feed a family of 4 or 6, right? So look at this oven baked, because you can make a whole sheet pan of grilled cheese at once and you pop them in the oven and they toast up. They're delicious, delicious. You pull them out and everybody eats at the same time and you have the nice pulled cheese going on. It is a fantastic recipe. One of my favorite ways to make grilled cheese for a group. So there's lots of different ways. Okay. Michelle says, have you burned the parchment paper liner? Asking for a friend. Yes. Yes, I will not lie. I have, and let me tell you the story. So one of the recipes I was making once, I was preheating the air fryer. I put my liner in, closed the drawer, set it, and walked away. I was still in my kitchen. And I'm like, something's burning. Like, something's burning. You can smell it. And I go over and I open it up, and my liner piece of paper was like ashes and just little pieces. I laughed so hard. Now, if you think about it, if you don't put anything on that liner, the liner's going to float around. And when it floats around, it's going to hit that top element. The element is going to catch it on fire. So if ever you're preheating, you cannot put the liner in until you put something on top of it. Got it? But yes, I have done that. Sigrid says, I really want a grilled cheese now. Kathy says, oven-baked grilled cheese are the bomb. They really are. So in any, like this grilled cheese that I'm making, put some ham on it, put some turkey on it, put some salami in it if that's what you want. This just gives you the basic idea of what you need to do to make an oven grilled or an air fryer, any way you look at it. Okay, that's been 3 minutes already. Can you believe it? So we're gonna go top down because I want you to see this. Now, obviously, it's not toasted here really on top, but you can kind of see that it is a little, but you can see all the cheese around the edge is all melted. And of course, I didn't bring a spatula over here. One of these days, I have no spatula. We're gonna use a fork to lift this bad boy up. This is really big. Should have done the small ones, but I really wanted this big sandwich. My cheese is stuck, so we're gonna lift the cheese. Now we're gonna flip it over. There we go. We're good. We're gonna pop it back in for 3 minutes. And I can already tell you that we're gonna want the extra minute on this. So, there we go. We've got that flipped over, so we're gonna let that cook. So that's almost done. Our pressure cooker hasn't come to pressure yet, so we still have time going on that. Remember how I said it will take a few minutes to really boil up and create that steam that we need to seal it off. So that's totally normal. Ooh, Jane. Jane is making a grilled ham and cheese with diced red onion and mustard. I'm licking my lips. That sounds so good. Michelle says the edge of her air fryer liner floated up during cooking. Really? So you must not have had something on it, like just to get that edge to come up. That's fascinating. Michelle says, now I'm really craving grilled cheese. Kathy is responding, great idea. We love onion, to add onion to your grilled cheese. See, this is what I love about the lives. I love to hear how what you do for your families at home and what you like, because it gives other people ideas on what to make and how to do it and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun. Karen said, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches when on toasted bread. Yes, let me tell you, I was probably 12 years old the first time I had a toasted grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was actually at an ice cream parlor of all places, and I ordered it. My girlfriend and I, we shared it. We were there with all of our friends, and I have always loved a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, it's always been my thing. And let me tell you, I was hooked. The way the peanut butter was melted and you got the texture of the toasted bread and the hot jelly and the sandwich almost slid around. Oh, it was so good. One of my favorites. I still enjoy peanut butter and jelly all these years later. I'm not trying to feed you a line. I really do, because I love it. But I love it toasted. It's fantastic. So good. Okay, if you haven't given this video a thumbs up, please do. give it some hearts. It really makes a difference. So in the comment section where you see the thumbs up and the heart, click on those, please. If you have shared this to your timeline or into a group, big hugs from me to you. It really does let Facebook know that this is great content, and it helps share it to other people, which really in turn helps me. And so it all makes a difference. If you have made this recipe and you will go to the recipe and leave a comment with a star review, oh, that helps me so much. Google makes updates all the time, always trying to provide the best answer to whatever question you're asking Google. So if you ask Google on where to find a tomato basil soup, I want to be sure that my recipes pop up for you so that you can find them easily. And Google knows they're good recipes when others like yourself have tried it and go back and leave those comments. So please do that, not only for myself, but any of the other bloggers that you enjoy their recipes on. It makes a world of difference. Truly does. Rebecca's giving me a big heart. I love it. Peggy says, grilled peanut butter and banana sandwiches are good too. I love it. I love it. Okay, while we have a few minutes, the pressure cooker has now sealed off. And so here pretty quickly, this number up front is going to change, and it's going to read 5, and then that number is going to count down in numbers, right? So we know that. We're going to hold off on that. Our air fryer, ooh, let's look at this. We're going to do this one longer, but I want you to see. So we're starting to be toasted, but I want it more. Now the cheese is totally toasted, but I want to see more toasty on that. So we're just gonna have some fun while we're waiting, because we can, right? I'm gonna do it, we'll see. I'm gonna watch that. Okay, let's give you an update. I wasn't live last week. I've been dealing with migraines again. I had a spinal injection. How many of you have bad backs? Raise your hands. I think it's like most of the world these days. My back has been fused. I had it fused 14 years ago. And I'm starting to have problems with it again, which is not uncommon if you've had a spinal fusion before. The vertebrae above and below tend to wear out because of the added stress and pressure on it from the fusion. And which is what's happening with me. So it's all normal stuff. It's just a pain. So I had a spinal injection in my tailbone, of all places. And it threw me into a migraine that I just could not fathom. I'm still dealing with some pretty severe headaches. Things are getting better, so we're coping through that. But I'm getting some relief from the injection now that my body is absorbing that and all that kind of stuff. So that's just a little update, because I know many of you have asked. Sigrid said I've had like 6 spinal injections. Yeah, before I had my spine fused 14 years ago, I was doing spinal injections 3 or 4 times a year for multiple years before I had the surgery where we fused my spine. And I haven't had to have injections since, but now that I've had this new problem, we're trying to treat it with injections, because that's how medicine works. We really ultimately know I'm going to have to go back in and fuse more of it, and we're just trying to prolong a little bit of that at this point, because that's a big ugly surgery. Ugly. We don't want to do that. Susan. Okay, Susan says, traveling across the country from Minnesota to Myrtle Beach, so I had to stop in our hotel so we could watch you on my computer. Love your recipes today. Oh my gosh, big hugs. You crack me up. That's hilarious. Okay, you crack me up. Oh my, look at this. I'm so excited. Do you see that? Do you see the beautiful golden? That's beautiful. I want to see what the other side. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to flip this bad boy. And we're going to put just another, oops. This side is toasty. Like, this is toasty to the touch, but it's not golden brown. So we're just going to pop it in. We're gonna get another minute on it. And then we're gonna pull that out, let it sit for a moment, and I'm gonna cut it. Our soup has now started its 5-minute clock, so it's gonna count down. We are gonna do a quick release on the soup. We might need to do a controlled pressure release where we open the pressure valve, we let pressure out until it starts spitting at us. At that point, we'll close it and let things calm down inside before we open up some more. And that's just a controlled pressure release. It's really simple to do, but I wanna show you on camera in case you come across it at home. Because when the pressure valve starts spitting out some of the food, it's natural just to panic, right? And because you don't know what to do, and maybe throw a towel over the top. No, don't throw a towel over the top. That only gums up the vent and causes you problems later. So it's really easy just to close it, let things calm down inside a minute before opening it back up. Super simple. Hi Mary, how are you? Mary says, I'm hopping on late. Everyone's like, that sandwich looks amazing. All right, we're gonna pull this out. Let's go top down. Doesn't that look beautiful? So this is a sourdough bread. Like I said, if you're using like a white bread, a really thin white bread, that will toast up super, super fast. The lighter and airier the bread is, it tends to toast quicker. So sourdough is a heavier, dense bread, tends to take a little bit longer. Just keep that in mind whenever you're doing recipes, because of course you don't want to burn this, right? All right, I'm gonna cut it down the middle because we know we have Swiss on one side and we have Colby Jack on the other. Can you hear that crunch? We're not gonna get much of a cheese pull because I'm cutting it clear through, but I'm gonna cut it into some sticks. I don't know if you could see that, but all the cheese started poking through the holes of the bread when I cut through. You know that's gonna be good. Peggy says, I love sourdough. I do too. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and so of course I enjoyed Boudin there at the wharf. Loved it. Anytime I get back to California, I always try to pick it up fresh and bring it back home because it's something that reminds me of home, reminds me of my childhood, and I just adore it. Simply adore it. But it is a tougher bread. Like if you're not careful, I don't know, it's like Captain Crunch mouth, right? You eat Captain Crunch and it like tears up the top of your mouth. I feel like sourdough can do that too. And so smaller bites, better portions really makes a difference, especially when it's toasted, right? Because it's just so tough on your mouth. Rebecca says, I love the crunch, nummy, crunchy. Dipping sticks. Sigrid, you got it. Okay, so dipping sticks. Oh, look at this cheese pull. You guys. Oh, look at that. Is that fun? We'll do that again. Love it. All right. Why did I do sticks? Well, I'll tell you what. This couple weeks ago, I was at Disney World. And there is a restaurant there called Andy's Lunchbox. It's in Toy Story Land. And one of the things that they serve is a little cup of tomato soup with a grilled cheese. And the grilled cheese are in little sticks. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. Like the cutest thing. Why not have a little sticks that you can just dip really easily into your soup and enjoy? I just think it's fantastic. So I'm cutting mine up this way. I'm also going to be serving them up in some fun little Super Bowl cups. Just to give you some ideas for next week with Super Bowl, that all of your food does not have to be sweets. It does not have to be high fat foods. You can make traditional foods, enjoy them, serve them a little bit fun and festive, and enjoy the Super Bowl in a different way, which is fun too. Guess what? Did you hear it? Now, Let's go face forward, actually. Okay, we just heard a beep, so I'm going to release the pressure. Always, always, always move your pressure cooker away from your cabinets and make sure it's not underneath like your hanging lights. If you have the lights that hang down, kind of push it off to the side because that steam is going to shoot up. And when that steam shoots up, it's going to get on your cabinets. It's going to get on light fixtures. It's going to get on anything. And it's kind of a pain to clean later, right? Because over time, it builds up. The heat and the steam will ruin your cabinets. So I say make sure they're away from those cabinets. You don't want that heat and steam on those cabinets or it's just going to ruin the finish on your cabinets. It's no good. So go ahead and open it up. And all that steam is shooting off to let that pressure out. Now if that starts spitting the soup out, I'm just going to close it. And I just do that by closing the pressure valve, okay? And that's as simple as it is. It's called a controlled pressure release, that you control the pressure being released at the intervals that you want. So we'll let that do its magic. I've got a ladle here. And we're excited. Mary says spinach artichoke dip would be fabulous at the Super Bowl. It would. Actually, we're going to drop a link for Super Bowl appetizer recipes. This is a post that I've put together in previous years of all of the many things, which include the artichoke dip, the queso dip with beans, all of those recipes all in one place for you, so that you can put your menu together of what you want to make for Super Bowl next week, whether it's chicken wings. I've got a couple of chicken wing recipes that you can make as well. And those recipes are phenomenal, just phenomenal. We love it. Okay, I'm ready to dive into this sandwich. I'm not gonna lie, like I want it right now. All right, Lisa, why did you panic? I'm scrolling back and Lisa says, I panicked, but I don't know why. Oh, Kathy loves the cowboy caviar. Yes. I think the cowboy caviar is included in those Super Bowl recipes. Make sure to follow me all week long on Instagram and on Facebook because I'm going to be hitting hard all of these recipes for the Super Bowl because I know that Facebook doesn't show you everything that I post. So hopefully you'll get a number of them through the week to remind you about these recipes and to make them. But please, please, please do me a favor. Please take photos. And when you post on Facebook or on Instagram or wherever, tag at Devour Dinner. It really does mean a whole lot to me. It really does. Okay, while we're waiting for this, for the pressure to come undone, let's drop the link for the protein that I drink every week or every day. Clean Simple Eats protein. I've posted a few things on it this week, but I want to hit it again. And let me tell you why. The eggnog flavor of protein has been on sale, which is like hallelujah. The big bag of 30, so a month's supply, has been on sale. Plus, if you use my code DevourDinner, one word, all caps, you get an additional 10% off, which makes it a heck of a deal. Now, full disclosure here. I love the flavor of eggnog, but I do not love drinking eggnog. Okay, so process that. I love the flavor of eggnog, but I don't like drinking eggnog. I don't know why, I don't like it. But I bought this because everybody says it's great and I wanted to know if it was worth it. Let me tell you, I made a shake, put it in, added my collagen. You know, I've started using collagen this year, and made up a shake with the ice cubes. It was wonderful. Now, it's not a flavor I want every day, but it's a wonderful winter flavor to enjoy, and for the price, I'm thrilled to have it. Thrilled. So, if you're using protein, if you've tried this, if you want to try it, it's a great price. So, we've dropped the link in the comments. Use code DevourDinner, all caps, one word, and you'll get 10% off. It has made a huge difference for me. Furthermore, my husband is now also doing it. His weight loss, I'm not sure what his weight loss is up to at this point. He's lost 16 pounds, and he started the middle of January, so with 3 weeks. Now, he's a bigger guy, and we all know gentlemen can lose weight faster than us women can. But my point is, he says over and over and over, it fills him up and it has curbed his appetite. He doesn't get hungry to munch on foods, which in turn is less food that he's eating. My son is also using it as well. He's lost weight. We're totally sold on it. So, and you guys have seen the photos of me before and after. You've watched me all last year, kind of doing it in silence, not telling you what I was doing. I have lost more than 50 pounds at this point, and I'm hoping for a little bit more, but I'm letting my body dictate where it lands. So it's kind of fun. All right, this is still releasing pressure. Because it is soup, because it is all liquid, it takes a long time, just a long time. But it's fine. So once we get this done and we open it up, we're going to add our heavy whipping cream. We can taste it and determine if we want to add any more sugar or not. Remember, I only added in about 1 tablespoon of sugar to cut the acid of the tomatoes to that bite. But I don't like to add any extra sugars if I don't need to. We'll add the whipping cream, and I'm going to use an immersion blender to blend it smooth. Now, if you don't have an immersion blender, I'm going to drop an Amazon link. It is an affiliate link to an immersion blender. You can get one off of Amazon. They're wonderful. But if you don't have one, you can enjoy it by blending it in the blender. So if you have a blender, but there's a trick if you'd use the blender. Pull some out of the soup, put it in your blender, and when you blend it, you're gonna have to crack the lid a little bit. Otherwise, the steam and the pressure from the soup will blow your top off and you're gonna have soup all over your kitchen. So you need to have a little bit, and you start it on a low speed and work your way up. You're gonna have to do it in batches. You won't be able to fit all the soup in your blender at once. It'll take probably 3, maybe 4 batches to blend it up that way, but it works. All right, this smells fantastic. I want you to see what this looks like. So I'm gonna put it under the, oh, it's kind of dark, but we'll get some light in it. So all of the tomatoes you can kind of see are up here at the top, and we're just gonna blend this up. Because we want a nice, smooth soup. It also is blending in all of that pesto sauce. The color is changing as we are blending this up. And I just splattered myself. Now, if you don't want it totally smooth, that's fine too. You can leave some chunks. I like to get a lot of the soup kind of pureed up before I add in the cream. And the reason is because I don't want that cream like whipping up like whipped cream, right? I don't want a ton of that. But it does take a few minutes. Now we're going to add in our cream. There's still quite a few chunks left of these big stewed tomatoes. But I think we've gotten our celery blended and our onions all blended up. We're going to add the cream. It all pulls together. All right. We're going to set that down. that down under there, and let's dish this up because I want you to see the color of this. Do you see that? Is that beautiful? I'm telling you, it is so pretty. So pretty. Now this soup is hot. Okay, you do not want to take a bite of this just yet. You are going to burn. Where did we go? There we go. But it is beautiful. You can always top it with some Parmesan cheese. Makes a world of difference. I'll push this off to the side. Oh, let's get this other one dished up. And we're gonna add some, there we go, our fun little Super Bowl snacks. How cute is that? You can put a couple of grilled cheese sticks in here, whatever you want, but I'm telling you, this is like heaven because look at how the soup clings on to the grilled cheese. It just clings because it's so thick. It is so yummy. It's gonna soften up that bread, that sourdough bread, just a smidgen. This is way hot. And I'm gonna take a bite. This is heavenly. That's so good. So good. Because it's your own individual serving, you can double dip. Nobody's gonna judge you, I promise, because it's your own. Make sure you have a spoon handy so that you can eat the rest of that soup just the way you like it. But that is a fun treat to have. Make next week with Super Bowl because it's delicious. It'll fill your bellies, still is healthy, which is ultimately what we want, right? So next week, when you make Super Bowl treats, make sure to tag me in those recipes. I'm not going to go live next week. I'm going to post one of the previous Super Bowl Sunday big extravaganza where I try to make 10 or 12 recipes in an hour, and it's crazy for you guys to watch and learn from and take tips from. I'll probably post that on Saturday so that you have that nice handy in your mind to enjoy that way. But I'm not going to go live next Sunday. So keep that in mind, but I'll be back in 2 weeks. All is good. In the meantime, big hugs to Amy from the Instapot 101 for Beginners group. If you have hopped over from that group, welcome. This is a safe place, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Come back in 2 weeks. I'll be doing another fun recipe. Feel free to follow me here on Devour Dinner because that's where all these fun recipes are. And thank you for all the love and support from all of you at home that check on me day to day, week to week, because I just love you to death. It's because of you that I get to do what I'm doing right now, and I absolutely love it. So thank you, thank you. Here we go, tomato basil soup, air fried grilled cheese sandwiches. I'm gonna have dinner now. This is good. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week. Remember to be kind, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.